What's going on, peeps? It's your boy back at it again, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the Breaking Bad movie, aka El Camino, which means the way in English. This is a film surrounding Jesse Pinkman, what happened to him following the end of Breaking Bad, in which Walter White pretty much took out the entire Brotherhood, pretty much ended up killing himself in the process. Oh yeah, by the way, there's going to be spoilers in case you didn't already know already, but yeah, so Jesse Pinkman is pretty much making his escape. And the last we saw of him, he was driving away like a maniac. We finally find out what happened after Breaking Bad ended. Something that I will get out of the way is that, I don't know why, but for some reason I had very high expectations for this, following Breaking Bad and being on a movie, it'd be a bit more action-packed and have a lot more going with it. This honestly didn't feel like it really did, honestly. It felt more like extended version of a Breaking Bad episode, like the normal Breaking Bad episode, and just filled up with these extra flashbacks from the past and kind of showing scenes that weren't shown previously in the original series and more kept as a time placement for where Jesse would be now and how he would get to this certain place in the current day. That's kind of how I seen it, because for most of the movie there was flashbacks of him and Todd, which would eventually lead him to Todd's apartment where he would acquire enough money to be able to go off and disappear and find his way to Alaska, in which he would branch out and have a new life forever. Something that I did notice about this movie is that, yeah, it's in 2019 and I believe it was filmed 2017 or so. I could notice a clear difference in the characters and how they age. So it ended in 2013. You can clearly see that there is some slight aging between some of the characters. They don't look as, natural as they did in the Breaking Bad original series, which makes sense. You can't really stop aging and stuff, but it just appeared weirdly seeing it now and stuff. Especially Todd. Todd, he looked like he kind of gained a few pounds, Just saying. If you're coming to this channel, expect me to bully the hell out of Todd, alright? So, but this also led to us seeing some more characters that were previously, gone back in the series again. For example, Walter White. He appeared for one scene near the end of the movie. He had this line that really stuck out to me that, really got me thinking a lot. He said something about being jealous. He had to wait all of his life to do something cool, comparing himself to, Jesse, who was already just such a young guy, and being able to do something like this. It honestly just made me feel something, because Walt, his entire life was just some high school teacher and chemist, and he didn't really get to do anything super interesting in his life and such, compared to, Jesse, who was this drug dealer who did all this wacky stuff. He always had to stay clean and stuff. I'm 20 years old now, crazy to say. I've definitely done some cool stuff in my life, and I don't even think I've made it to, the peak of the cool things that I'm going to be doing. And honestly, just something very cool to think about is the type of situations that people are in life, where someone will really have their time in the spotlight and stuff. It's really interesting to think about, for sure. And so yeah, that was something that really stood out to me about that scene. Despite making one appearance in the movie, I think Walt definitely got something for people to think about, that's for sure. Other than Walt, we got to see Mike again, and we obviously saw Todd and Uncle Jack and his group of Nazis. It was a very interesting movie, that's for sure, and I definitely think it serves as a transition point. I'm honestly surprised that Jesse Pinkman didn't end up dead by the end of the series. He kind of just ended up just starting a whole new life. It almost seemed like a good ending, opposed to the end of Breaking Bad, in which Walter White just straight up dies, kind of the bad ending in a way. There's a very big difference between how both of those things end. And so yeah, it just makes me wonder what's going to happen to Jesse Pinkman now. Is he just going to live completely new, or is there going to be something in Better Call Saul, which I've yet to see, in which, we find out more about what's going on with him? Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not sure if there's another Breaking Bad movie that's connected to the series and stuff. I guess I'll have to find out later in the future what happens to Jesse, that's for sure. Oh yeah, and something that I just realized, in the beginning of the movie, it shows that scene with, him and Mike, and Mike's talking about how he wants to go to Alaska one day, and by the end of the movie, guess who ends up in Alaska? Jesse. And it was also very interesting to see, Jesse's reaction to finding out that, Walt's dead, and all these people are talking about him and trying to find him. And he's this like wanted man, and he somehow, despite all the risks he had to take from just getting all that money from Todd and also getting in that shootout near the end of the movie with Neil, who had something to do with the Brotherhood, and he finally ended up getting his revenge on the last of the Brotherhood, pretty much, I guess you could say, by the end of the movie, when he shoots him and it was like Casey and something, and just pretty much lets the other three out because they're just side characters. Literally, they didn't have anything to do with it. But yeah, in the end, Jesse just kind of has like a perfect ending in a way, where he can just go out and live his life and not have any consequences until, I guess, whatever will happen to him in the future. That's for sure. When he met up with Ed the Disappearer, he wanted to send some like note to Brock, the child of Andrew, his last girl in the series, and also had a flashback to another certain woman of his, Jane, looking fine as ever. So yeah, I kind of had my expectations a bit too high for this movie. I guess I was expecting something crazy and a huge, massive plot twist by the end of it. That didn't really happen though, and it leads me being like, okay, it's a pretty good movie. It's well shot, it's well made, some cool additions to the plot, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much all I really got to say about El Camino, and it does what it does, but overall, I liked it. It was a good time, that's for sure. There were a few boring parts there and there. Would probably give it a 8 out of 10. I'm not really strict with movies. I'm not really a movie reviewer, but that's probably what I'd give it as of now. Sorry my thoughts were very scattered and unorganized and such. I just wanted to get my thoughts on this out pretty quickly. If you enjoyed this review of El Camino, leave a like, subscribe, and I'm honestly very psyched to continue making more Breaking Bad related content. I can't wait to watch Better Call Saul. I appreciate all the support that I got on my tier list video for the Breaking Bad characters. That got a lot of attention, that's for sure. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Thank you.